It's your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso on S3, and the Hockey Women's Junior World Cup. It is currently taking place in Potch, where Team South Africa have progressed to the quarterfinals.
Expresso sports reporter Michael Pedro is at the University of the Northwest Astro, where he's chatting to some of the players and coaches from the team. Let's take a look.
Thanks very much, guys. It is a scorcher here in Potch this morning. I'm joined by South Africa co-captain Christa Ramasimong to tell us about how the tournament has been going so far, what their hopes are for the quarterfinals. They're playing the Netherlands in that quarterfinal on Friday. Christa, thank you very much for joining us. First game against England, didn't really go as planned, got the win against Ireland. How did you guys bounce back from that opening game defeat?
I think it was a lot of preparation. There's a lot of preparation that went into it. We went back and looked at what worked and what did not work, and we did a lot of prep going into the Ireland game. And I think the structure that we wanted and the framework that we wanted to work in kind of pulled through in the second game against Ireland.
You guys are now through to the quarterfinals after that victory. Tough game coming against the Netherlands. They've been scoring goals for fun in this tournament. How do you guys prepare for such an attacking team?
I think it's the same thing. You know, I think it's just about preparation and putting our hearts in it, and I think that's what happened in the Ireland game. Like, I think the girls really came out with 100% effort, and I think that's going to be what we're going to have to bring on Friday's game. And we've played the Dutch before, 2 years ago, I think, 2020, yeah. So we know what we're up to, but yeah, we're not like the other teams. We're going to give our best.
Is there anything you can take from that previous game against the Netherlands? It is 2 years ago, so a bit of time has passed. But are there things that you're going to look back on that game to think you can implement on Friday?
Yes, definitely. I think we know that they're very attacking and they're very skilled, very clinical team. So we're going to have to base ourselves on what we know and play to our strengths. And I think it's a win-win situation. Like, anything can happen. It's a quarterfinal. So we just need to put our heads in it and go strong.
Overall, what has this experience been like for you? Playing on home soil in an international tournament, does that add a little bit of pressure, or does that excite you guys every time you go out?
I think it's more motivation because you know you're home, you know you get the support, you know people around South Africa watching, and it just adds a bit of oomph into your performance as a team. I think also having a tournament of this type of caliber hosted home is a great experience for South Africa, good exposure for the varsity as well, since I'm also a student here. And yeah, I think it's been a great experience.
Touching on the student aspect of things, how difficult is it to balance your studies and playing in such a high-level competition?
One thing is that I know our coaching staff, they have created an environment where they allow us to be students while being athletes as well. So it's easier being a student athlete in this environment. It's not like, you know, you neglecting your schoolwork or you focusing more on hockey. We get time to do our studies and we get time to focus on hockey. So I think it's easier to balance it because of the environment our coaches have created for us.
Well, Christa, thank you very much for chatting to us. Best of luck for the game against the Netherlands on Friday. I know we'll be rooting for you. I'm sure the rest of South Africa will be as well. And hopefully you guys can get through to that semi-final. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Well, you heard it here from the co-captain of the junior team for South Africa. Looking forward to that quarterfinal against the Netherlands on Friday. Best of luck to the team. Stick around because in a little bit we are chatting to the coach to find out how preparations are going for that game and also how she views the tournament as a whole.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Then as quickly as it takes this man
still
to
catching my breath,
disrobe and re-robe, we are back. Thanks for keeping it locked here with your Feel Good Breakfast Show. A little bit earlier, we caught up with Mikey Pedro and the hockey girls.
Yeah, the Junior World Cup Junior World Cup team is out there. Mike's chatting to them about the players, the team, what's to expect, and obviously we're crossing over right again to see what's happening on that side of town. Obviously, they're preparing for the quarterfinals. That's happening on Friday. Let's find out.
Thanks very much, guys. Yes, it is another scorcher here in Potch today. We chatted to co-captain Christa Ramasimong a little bit earlier. I'm now joined by the head coach, Lenice Murray. Lenice, thank you very much for taking time to chat to us. It's been an up and down tournament, losing that first game, then bouncing back to beat Ireland and book a spot in the quarters. How are you guys feeling ahead of that quarterfinal clash?
Like you mentioned, that first game was a bit disappointing. Our performance wasn't great, and then we have a day off, 2 days to train and to come out and play a really good game against Ireland. So the confidence levels are good. We're looking forward to the game on Friday. It's going to be a big test, but you come to these tournaments for those kinds of games.
Speaking of the Netherlands, they've been banging in goals for fun this tournament. How do you guys cope with that, and what are you going to be working on, without giving too much away, what are you going to be working on in the coming days?
Yeah, we're looking forward to the game on Friday. It's going to be very difficult, but it's the reason why you come to these tournaments is to play that quality of team. And we have to be disciplined, we have to be focused, we have to implement the plan. So for the players, it's about just focusing on the task, staying in the moment, and then playing a good game.
And from your perspective, how great is it to have this competition in South Africa, playing against top international opposition, really testing yourselves against some of the best in the world?
Having a tournament at home is phenomenal for Africa, for South Africa. It showcases our ability to host a tournament of this event, or this magnitude, I should say, and to also, hopefully teams will come back. For us, it's not as easy as traveling 2-3 hours, across a border. People have to travel really far for us. We don't have as many internationals as we'd like, but for us to play at this level is something very special.
In terms of overall development of the team before this World Cup, where do you see, is there sort of a gap between this level and professional level, or is the transition quite smooth? And if not, how do you guys sort of ensure that when they do make the step up to the senior level, they are well equipped to deal with that?
I think at this age group level, the margins are there already, but they aren't so big. When you play senior level, it's those small percentages that really make the difference. In terms of some of the other countries at the senior level, they play high quality club hockey, whereas we don't. We have a few games a season that might be big for our players and IPT. But that gap, that transition is really important, and we need to do everything as an organization to make sure that we give our under 21s, 23s, 24s, that emerging group, the opportunity to compete at the highest level.
Do you think maybe there is a little bit of a disconnect? Because I think sometimes we look at senior teams and there's already players that are sort of 23, 24 playing in that team, whereas here they're still in the junior setup.
Yeah, and that's so important. And I know with Giles coming in now as the head coach for the senior team, he will also manage that with the new under-21 coach as well, to make sure that transition is smooth for players that are aging out of this age group, and also for the emerging players, but also maintaining a solid core group in the senior team.
Thanks very much, Lanish. Really appreciate your time. Best of luck for the game against the Netherlands on Friday. Wishing you all the best. Hopefully you guys can get through to the semi-final.
Thank you so much appreciated.
Thanks, guys. Back to you in the studio. We are rooting for Team South Africa when it comes to the game against the Netherlands on Friday. All the best to them, and we'll bring you more from Poch in the coming days.
Marky
Rock.
Pedro. What's this never walk alone?
Yeah, man, I love
nonsense
it.
there, man? Come
love
on,
this
man.
thing.
But some great interviews with an amazing outfit there. Wishing our ladies all the best of luck come Friday.
They're looking focused, they're looking ready for it, and someone is ready to deliver the news. Carlitos, check him out.